everybody knows Eevee. This small little fox creature has single-handedly taken over the world in every medium it has ever existed in, ever. Throughout movies, small tidbits in the anime, even the card game, they just print money. But in competitive Pokemon, especially in the earlier days, these guys used to actually be really good. We're gonna do a deep dive to see which evolution was the strongest in each generation from Generation 1 all the way up to Generation 9. We have Legends ZA coming out soon, and then after that, probably Gen 10, where we might even get a new evolution. So let's dive in to see how crazy these rats really were. Starting off with Gen 1, Gen 1 is very simplified. It was actually a really simple generation. You go fast, you crit, and do a ton of damage. Many Pokemon dominated in this format, especially the normal type like Tauros and Snorlax. They were demons in this tier. But when it came to the Eeveelutions, the strongest one by far was easily Jolteon, bro. He ran this hood like no tomorrow. For a very simplified reason, he was dumb fast, okay? He was so dumb fast that he would just pump out loads of damage, and because in Generation 1, the faster you were, the higher odds you have to crit. He had a higher chance to crit than almost any other Mon in this entire format. In fact, if you did not know this, critical hits in Generation 1 did not occur at a fixed rate for all Pokemon. All Pokemon were actually not created equal. Crazy, I know. And by doing the math and the statistics, Jolteon was the second highest Pokemon in all of Gen 1 that had the second highest crit throughout the entire game, tied with Aerodactyl and Mewtwo. Obviously, the highest crit chance was Electrode. Nobody was faster than this guy, but Jolteon can actually do damage. Electrode, I don't know. Let's do the math. The base rate is 6.25%. The crit rate ratio is calculated uniquely for each Pokemon based on its base speed. The formula is quite simple. You would multiply whatever it is by X times 100 divided by 512. Moving as fast as he was with Stab Thunderbolt critting? Yeah, Jolteon was built for this generation, bro. He was really unrivaled, bro. He was moving like Jordan in here, bro. It was crazy. This may have been the best generation Jolteon has ever experienced, bro. Generation 2 and me have had some long beefs, dude. I am the messiah of what we like to call on why this generation started being bred with a lot of criticism and honestly a lot of dislike and distaste. But that's for a video for another day. We're looking at the best evolution in Generation 2, the Johto region, and that is one, the GOAT himself, Vaporeon, dude. Gen 2 gave a lot of Mons weird learn sets that were clearly patched out over time that I do really wish some of them actually kept it. But this is when the evolutions just went absolutely dumb and they gave these kids growth, bro. They give these kids growth. And at this time, it only boosts special. But it still was absolutely powerful for the bulky guys like Vaporeon, dude. Growth Hydro Pump and Growth Surf is absolutely stupid, bro. And yes, this guy also had acid armor, so he was just absolutely impenetrable, bro. He'd be extremely tanky and just dish out dumb levels of damage. Vaporeon was an absolute demon, bro. Bulky water Pokemon that has the access to set up, it got access to boost its physical defense. The way Vaporeon was moving in Generation 2, bro, it almost felt like no physical wall could actually take this guy out, bro. It was crazy, bro. It was actually insane. If it's not obvious, Vaporeon is easily the best Mon from Generation 2. Generation 3, man. This is the gen that I grew up with. Everybody loves Gen 3, bro. Like, you had to hear the gap there, man. You just had to. There's no way, like, people hate Owen, right? Like, you just unpack that. There's no way, right? Well, okay, the best evolution by far in Generation 3, and here's what's actually crazy about the Hoenn region, it isn't even close. There was a little bit of disparity between Vaporeon and Umbreon in Generation 2, but in Gen 3, it really isn't even close. This evolution stands so much higher than all the other evolutions, it's actually impressive. Our boy Jolteon, bro, he is back out here again. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Early days, Game Freak loved this Mon, dude. And for a very simple reason, Choice Scarf did not exist yet. He's just so damn fast. Anytime, like obviously, of course, in the later days, Jolteon is in power crept, right? Like in terms of just offensive power that he could dish out. But dude, speed will always be important. It doesn't matter which gen you're in, speed will always be important, bro. And even with the special split of variation here to where now you have special attack and special defense, still 110 is not anything to scoff at all. It's a solid special attack stat. This guy is fast, bro. Not a single Eeveelution outside of Jolteon even sat in the OU tier. All of the rest were BL warriors. Now, they were not bad at all, but Jolteon just stood out so much further than the rest of the other guys. You gotta love how even in a massive power shift here that we had from Gen 2 to Gen 3, Jolteon could still thrive. I love that. Shout out to Jolteon, boys. I know y'all eating good off this. Generation 4 came around, introduced Wi-Fi, and absolutely power crept yet again, dude. We had some guys going absolutely crazy. We had the physical special split. We had a ton of brand new moves being introduced, a ton of brand new mons, and it made it a lot harder for the Eeveelutions to even try to thrive here. But there is one Eeveelution that yet again stands out above the rest that still could hold out even with a lot of the brand new mons. And that is our boy Vaporeon, dude. I don't know what Kanto did, but these Kanto Eevees were running amok, bro. They were going absolutely crazy. This lineage is nuts, bro. The really cool thing about the Eeveelutions as well, too, is they all have the exact same stats, like numbers and everything, just redistributed in different areas, right? So the best thing about Vaporeon is he actually had, I think, the second highest special attack stat out of any other water Pokemon in the tier. Vaporeon just excels at bulk. Bulky water will literally never be bad, bro. The day that bulky water gets power crept, we're gonna start seeing some scary times and some scary conversations. But till then, it's absolutely still live and thriving, and Vaporeon did not change that at all. Generation 5 is where things really went crazy, bro. The metagame shift went absolutely insane. We had a ton of brand new mons that dropped. Landorus, Therian, Lebrondorus, Therian, James, dude. Oh, hail King Lebrondorus, James, bro, let's go. Now, if you're wondering how the Eeveelution stood up between these guys, they had a rough time. But there was one Eeveelution that I honestly believe, in my opinion, that could stand its ground, and that is by far Espeon. Espeon did get a brand new tool in the ability Magic Bounce. So because Espeon got Magic Bounce, these brand new entry hazards was able to be denied. And for two simple factors, he was fast. This is like the old days where if you're over 100, you're going at Mach 5. And now 100 nowadays isn't that crazy, but above it, you were going at Mach 5 and you're sitting at about 110, 130 special attack stat. So you know he was hitting hard. These guys hit as hard as Latios, by the way, if you just want to sit down and process that. Now, obviously, he was kind of frail on the physical side, but that didn't matter. The fighting types were absolutely insane in Generation 5. And Espeon, because it was so fast, was able to manage and deal with a lot of these fighting types. Espeon perfectly outsped Keldeo and Terrakion, two absolutely scary offensive powerhouses within the OU game. It was the exact same speed tier as Latios. So realistically, it was very, very fast in this tier, bro. Like, it was really fast in this tier, bro. You couldn't put up rocks versus him. You had to respect him when you saw him in the team matchup, as you just literally cannot put up anything crazy. You can't toxic. He'll just come in and just throw it back at you. You know what I'm saying? So Espeon really just had a major buff in Magic Bounce. But I really do think Espeon was kind of like the perfect mon that stood out, especially if it was like some life orb offensive joint. He was just, he could deny things and then also dish back damage, bro. Oh my God, dude. Generation 6 is where it really started going downhill. Everybody knows this is arguably one of, if not the largest power shift early on, where we got the release of Megas, we got the release of just Xerneas and Evoltal. Those guys we're not even gonna mention, as we're really kind of only talking about the singles format of Smogon OU. Every single Eeveelution was torn out of the OU tier, at least at the point of making this video. This is the shift. This is the great shift of the Eeveelutions, where they kind of just really couldn't keep up with the big dogs, right? We had Aegislash that came in this tier. Aegislash was an absolute demon, right? Like, who's checking him, bro? We had like Megalop, right? Exodra was going absolutely dumb, bro. But one Eeveelution did stand out versus a ton of these top dogs, and that's our boy Sylveon. I know, brand new Eeveelution in its debut generation, and it actually was the best Eeveelution. This was prior to Pixelate nerf, so Pixelate at this point was doing 1.3 instead of 1.2. It was by far a strong wall breaker because of this, and that is exactly why Game Freak nerfed it. Regardless, even if he wasn't like a high tier OU usage Pokemon, this guy still in OU would deal insane damage, bro. Fairy just dropped. Fairy was a really strong typing. Obviously, of course, the steel types that still existed, like Aegislash, Jirachi, and Excadrill, were still insane. Same with Metagross. Yeah, these guys are absolutely insane, but Sylveon can still hand his own as like a Specs Hyper Voice. I mean, like, dude, have you ever used a Specs Hyper Voice? Like, who is coming in for a stat? Who is coming in? And it did have access to Hidden Power Fire, so I guess it could touch a steel type. It doesn't matter if it's resisted. It doesn't matter at all. This guy's damage was absolutely ludicrous. Sylveon, I would say, is the one that I think stood out the most. He was doing his little thing, you know, he's like that. He's trying something new. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. Generation 7 introduced a lot of mons that honestly not a lot of the evolutions could really keep up with. Even guys like Espeon was falling down to the RU tier, a mon that was once seen as a consistent UU Pokemon. And man, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you, when you look at some of these mons that released in Gen 7, plus Megas, plus Z moves, bro, the evolutions really start to feel kind of like these gimmicks. They feel like older mons that are being put into newer climates, and that's why a lot of them struggle. So if you're wondering, the best one in Generation 7, yes, it is still the new one. It is Sylveon. Sylveon was absolutely the best evolution in Generation 7 yet again. Fairy type is absolutely crazy, bro. It is literally better than Psychic. Even down in the UU tier, he was one of the greatest, single greatest Cleric mons in the tier with just Wish Protect and Heal Bell. This is when everyone and their mother got a Heal Bell. The mon was just great though, because Fairy is single-handedly one of the best defense typings in the entire generation of Pokemon ever. Even the things that Sylveon couldn't really touch, you just kind of Wish Protect, heal yourself up, or wish and pass it because you're, you know, chunky enough to take the hit. This is by far one of the strongest evolutions we've ever gotten. He's going nowhere. Now, Generation 8 is absolutely insane. I know I've said this many times, but this one genuinely changed it to where these guys like actually plummeted, because the new gimmick of Dynamax, not a lot of them were like insane abusers of this. Like Jolteon could put up electric terrain and, you know, off his like Max Bolt, and Espeon off Max Mindstorm could put up psychic terrain and stuff, which should make it boost its power more, right? And these guys, you know, aren't the tankiest, at least the offensive ones. So double HP would actually make these guys live a lot more. But the sad reality is that it's equal hands, equal fights. Everybody could Dynamax. So by that logic, a lot of guys who could deal more damage immediately were just better than these guys. This is the great plummet, bro. The evolutions are down bad, bro. Almost all of them are in the lowest tiers possible, bro. We had Espeon in PUBL, dude. Jolteon in PU. Sylveon in NU, dude. So if you were wondering the best evolution in this gen, yes, it is Umbreon. Umbreon, this is where Umbreon really just takes over, bro. And Umbreon, I know I have not mentioned him being king in terms of any of these generations. He is not bad in any generation up until this point at all. Like, if you ever faced an Umbreon, he is really obnoxious. He is the Great Wall of China, bro. I swear to God, dude, this guy will literally not fall, dude. Umbreon, in terms of his defensive stats, by far is the tankiest, right? He's chilling at 95 HP, 110 defense, and 130 insp def. Mind you, like I said again earlier, every single evolution has the exact same stats. They have double 65 and a 60. They have 110, 130, and 95. They just kind of change where they put it. The beautiful part about this is that Umbreon really got it in the best spots. He's not terribly slow at 65. He's got it in the right spots when it comes to his defense, and his HP is phenomenal, right? Umbreon, his most famous build that really will never be bad, right? Like, even in these like awful times of climate, is Toxic, Wish, Protect, Foul Play. Like, he synchronizes, so if you want to poison him, hey, he gonna get it too. Brody said, yo, if I got it, you got it too, dude. You know what I'm saying? So Umbreon is really just by far the most equal rights, equal fights guy out of any evolution. And with heavy duty boots, he genuinely ignores a lot of the obnoxious hazards. He lives a lot longer. But Umbreon wasn't even really that high. He was chilling in the RU tier, and he had some usage in UU. But geez, dude, the power creep in Gen 8, he did the damn thing, bro. He just sat there and 8 hits, bro. And what more can you ask? Now the final generation, Generation 9, the last generation in Pokemon. We're trying to see which evolution was the best in the generation. Now again, another equal rights, equal fights gimmick with Terastallize. If you're wondering, the common theme here is a lot of the newer gimmicks, they give it to everybody. So while yes, on one end you could say everybody is somewhat, you know, given love as they can all get some sort of power spike, which they can, evolutions are not that bad this gen. I'm not gonna lie to you, the evolutions all got Calm Mind. Let's unpack that. They all got Calm Mind. So a lot of evolutions gained a lot of love in this generation. A lot of them. They also got this new move, Alluring Voice. So now you can't set up spam versus them as they just confuse you if you want to. You kind of have to respect the move sometimes. You know what I'm saying? If you're wondering the best evolution in Generation 9, yeah, not much has changed. It's still Umbreon. Umbreon has been running the power creep at any point in life. If you think, wow, dude, All Reliable can do it, All Reliable can. Umbreon is the Toyota and the Honda Civics of the Eeveelutions, bro. He's never bad. Genuinely never bad. 350,000 miles on that car, you are still running, dude. This guy's actually just great. Why? Because he can terrestrialize. Everyone and their mother did get some form of like distribution to where they can hit fighting types super effectively, whether that's leech life or close combat. Umbreon can still prevail as he's incredibly tanky. He has a phenomenal move pool because, well, it's All Reliable. You just wish, foul play, and toxic. And Umbreon is very privileged. He's one of the few that actually kept toxic. In the later gens, they did start nerfing out toxic because at least in the singles format, it is single-handedly one of the best moves in the game, period. If you can't beat them on, click toxic. If you get walled up by them on, click toxic. So they distributed it very hard, and Umbreon was one of the few guys that kept it, and his best terrestrialize is Terra Poison, as at that point he resists fighting and bug. So it's really just perfect. So, and you're not gonna click Psychic. Unless you're a madman, you're not, because he's already immune to it prior Terra. You cannot even run an offense if you want with Calm Mind, because he's so tanky that you will be able to get that off, right? So he is really good. He's really, really good. He's always kind of had Moonlight, so you have immediate recovery as well too. A lot of Eeveelutions have seen a lot of hard nerfs. Like almost all of them are chilling on like NU, like Jolteon is in ZU. My guy is actually cooked. Even though he has Bolt Beam, he's actually cooked. They just can't compete with Umbreon. They can't. And that's all the Eeveelutions throughout the generations, guys. Did you learn anything new? Did you know all of these? I'd love to hear it. Honestly, Game Freak, I feel like has kind of forgot about some of these guys in the later generations, man. They've really been just going downhill. Hopefully some move distributions would make these guys a lot better. I feel like Calm Mind was a huge buff to almost all of them, depending on the ones that were offensively, like Glaceon, who really didn't see any love at all, and that's my personal favorite. So I think if Game Freaks is giving more of these guys moves, I think it'll be in a little bit of a better spot. Like Espeon can get Aura Sphere. I'm just saying. I don't know. Regardless, guys, that's gonna be the video. Let me know if you enjoyed this, if you love stuff like this. Thank you for watching. And with that, I'll see y'all.